Welcome back to It's Just Gems, and I want to share a couple of videos with you today, and it's regarding Black women and submission. I know it's such an ugly word, isn't it? Submit. But it's a very necessary process in my opinion. I'm going to share 2 videos and then I'll share some dialogue with you.
Okay, Granny, what's the secret of marriage?
Let your husband be the head.
And
You do what's right, even though he might be wrong, but he's still the head. Like God is the head, and he let whatever that's supposed to happen, happen. Honor your husband with love and kindness.
and don't go to bed upset.
Don't never go to bed upset.
That's the key, huh?
Oh, yes.
That was Granny's key to a 63-year marriage. Submission to her husband and allowing him to be the head of the home. The ship can't have 2 captains competing to steer the ship left and right, because you're not going to go anywhere. A house divided will not stand. That's what that means also in marriage. We cannot have 2 different heads leading us in different directions. And a lot of times in this day and age, they try to push a lot of feminism and women's empowerment and don't let a man tell you what to do. But if that's your husband, you have to be able to allow him to lead your family. He should be getting his direction from God. You should be praying for him to have direction, and you can follow his direction, or his lead rather. I'm telling you, it's much better when you allow one person to steer the ship. Now, you give your input. You want to say, hey, this is how I feel about this. I really think we should. And talk to him. You know, y'all should be able to communicate with one another and come up with a good plan for your home, or whatever the decision is. If you're talking about moving out of state, moving to a new house, moving to a new apartment, whatever it is, talk about it together, but ultimately allow him to decide. But if, as women, you don't respect your husband enough or his decisions, and then you decide, well, we going over here because that just don't even make sense, and da-da-da-da. And then you go run over here and sign up for this particular apartment, or I'm trying to think of something else, but we'll just say apartment or something. But you go put your name on the apartment over here because it's closer to your job and it just makes sense for us to stay here. And then you get there, you sign on the dotted line, your husband tucks tail and goes with, what you said, because you've already jumped the gun and done it. And then you wonder, you get over there and it's a whole shit show going on at that apartment complex. Is problem after problem, and management has a problem. The neighbors ain't good. You know what I'm saying? When you get out of line from that direction, from the way God has things set up, then you're out of bounds. And now things are out of whack. And then now your husband's looking at you like, see, I told you we shouldn't have done this. You know what I'm saying? And that could build up some resentment already, because this isn't what he was shown to do, or this is not what he wanted to do in the direction for his family. Now he's in the situation and there's a lot of problems going on. And we know when problems come, then it's down. Oh, well, it's the man's job to handle these certain issues and problems. But had you followed the husband and he said, no, we're going to move over here, or we're going to re-sign the lease where we're at, or, we'll stick with apartments, we're going to stay here. Or if he said, well, we're going to move to these over here, it's a little bit further, but this is where we go. And then you go with him. And then if it turns out that wasn't the best plan, he'll see that. And he'll begin to say, okay, well, dang, babe did say we shouldn't have moved here. You didn't even have to say anything. He'll know. God will deal with him, and he will begin to understand, like, dang, she said that. And then when he sees you don't come back and say, I told you so, and then he starts to just process, man, what she said did make sense. He'll start to listen to your input because, oh, damn, I should have listened. Now, next time when there's a decision to be made and you give your suggestions, then maybe there'll be more emphasis on, you know what, you right. I think we're going to do it your way, babe. But if you get in the way, get loud and all of that, oh, we should have, I told you should have did it like this. That's going to be a problem. But again, give your suggestion, allow him to make the final decision. It'll be a much better place. But I have another video. I'm going to go ahead and play that now, and then I'll follow up with my commentary.
And look, before everybody start, I stand on what I said. Most black women are the only ones who have a problem with being submissive, listening, being quiet. You know what I mean? Being of peace, for real. And for me, it goes way, way, way back, which I'm not about to get into, talking about like way, way back, like slavery times, And I just feel like it's a part of, lack of respect that falls deep within, the average black woman for the black man. And, my mother taught me better. I'm teaching my children better, and I'm going to make sure that they do it to theirs. And we continue on with generations where it makes sense and where there is respect, honor, love, and appreciation from both sides. You know what I mean? And I really, really do believe that the first step to get into this is admitting that a lot of times, black women are loud and wrong.
Now, I do want to just say this. She mentioned at the beginning of the video that black women seem to be the only one with the problem. And I disagree with that because I've seen enough Karen videos with white men hollering in the back trying to stop them from making a fool of themselves to know that they aren't being submissive over there. But my focus is on our community, and I see a lot of women where we may get in our own way because being submissive, or it's really just cooperation. Cooperating in a marriage is not easy all the time. You do have your strong wills and thoughts about how the family should go, or what should be the choice or the next decision. And then to allow someone else who has a different decision or different opinion to lead the way, it can be hard. You have to sometimes just, just don't say nothing and allow him to lead. And even if it fails, he will have to deal with that and correct course and make another decision. And again, take more into account of what you say going forward, because last time he made the decision, it didn't work out so well, and what you said made more sense now that he thinks about it. But he is supposed to be your husband. He's supposed to be your provider, protector. And how can he protect somebody who doesn't listen? Respect your husband. You picked him, you married him, and hopefully you married somebody that you can respect, that you can trust, that can guide you and lead your family in the right direction. Who wants to marry somebody that you have to, as the woman, guide and lead every place? You have to make every decision, and that comes out of a lack of respect. You don't respect your husband and what he thinks is right. You don't respect his ability to run the ship. So you have to step in, or you feel the need to step in and override everything he says, or not even consult him when you're making a major decision, because you don't respect his thoughts, his beliefs. You don't respect anything about him. And in that case, you should have never married him in the first place. But I digress. I am married. My parents are still married. They just celebrated 50 years in June. And marriage is not easy, but we both have our roles as a wife and a husband. You want to allow your husband to lead because, again, if he's the protector of the family, we as women, we may be thinking on a whole other level on different decisions that need to be made. We could be making them out of emotions and feelings, or even just thinking with our thoughts of, okay, I think this will be best. But your husband is considering his job as a protector and also whatever else needs to be considered on making these decisions. We might not be thinking about the protection aspect. Ultimately, it makes for a stronger family. It makes for a better marriage when you allow your husband to steer the ship, so to speak. You taking his last name, you've already submitted to him in that aspect. The majority of people do take on their husband's last name. And that's already one part of submission. You know, you're going under him. You're going under his care, under his leadership. So allow him to do that without having to fight you tooth and nail. Get quiet. Get in there. It's time to get back to prayer. Get in your prayer room. Make you a prayer room in your closet. Go to God with your concern. Ask for your husband to have the wisdom and knowledge he needs to make the best decisions for your family. It's not all on him. You go do that. You know what I'm saying? And it works. I'm telling you, I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. You get in there and you pray and you ask for help and guidance in your marriage and your husband, and allow him to make the wise decisions that God will have him to make. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about it. I know there could be some strong opinions, but let me know, and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until next time, peace.